The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez will no longer attend Senate hearings on the controversial Sugar Order No. 4, citing scheduling conflicts. Rodriguez says he will be focusing on President Bongbong Marcos's state visit next week. As a result, the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee might cut short its hearings on the sugar import fiasco and start drafting their reports. Another hearing set for next week will tackle the illegal resolution.
Kahit partial release of the report, we will determine who are the persons inferentially and by virtue of circumstances who will be liable. We will file charges.
7 teachers from the Bacoor National High School could face dismissal for the sexual harassment of students. DepEd spokesperson Michael Poa said their investigation into the sexual abuse allegation is already underway. Poa is also urging other victims to come forward and file their affidavits. The DepEd says it will determine its next steps after the fact-finding report on the incident is submitted.
That is the most severe punishment would be dismissal kasi nga po dito sa DepEd it's really more of an administrative proceeding. So yun po it will merit if it will merit the severest penalty will be dismissal.
We're gonna pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. House members zeroed in on the DFA's plan to assert the country's rights in the West Philippine Sea as they deliberate on the agency's budget. Marian Enriquez with the report.
Lawmakers are now looking at possibly augmenting the 2023 budget of the Foreign Affairs Department by 2 billion pesos. The current allocation for the DFA is at 20 billion pesos, way below the agency's initial request of 40 billion pesos. The DFA has projects lined up including improvements to e-passport processing and the hiring of staff for consulates and embassies. But House members were also curious about one thing: how the Foreign Affairs Department plans to assert the country's rights in the West Philippine Sea. Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo says they will continue bilateral talks with China as well as other international bodies.
While we maintain that dialogue and continually press on our points, we will not let China forget about this issue. And that's how we intend to proceed on this. So in that sense, and China has agreed. So at least they recognize there's an issue, and they also realize that we will not let go of this issue.
However, by Congressman Ed Salagman is worried that bilateral talks won't do much in asserting the Philippines' territorial rights.
I think there should be other modes which the good secretary should pursue in order that we could truly assert our right over our arbitral victory, sustaining the sovereignty of the Philippines.
Meanwhile, Manalo says there's no specific allocation for the enforcement of the arbitral ruling against China. He also noted that there are a number of countries that support the Philippines' arbitral win, which could hopefully pressure China into abiding by the ruling. Among those who had expressed support are the United States, Australia, Canada, Japan, Germany, France, Denmark, and the European Union.
It's true that perhaps the Philippines on its own cannot really enforce. But as I said, I'm quite heartened that more countries have come out in the open for this. And our belief is the more and more countries in the future that can speak out in favor of the arbitral ruling, it would create some diplomatic pressure on China, at least to realize that the international community, or at least more and more members of the community, are supporting the arbitral ruling.
In the meantime, the DFA assures that the country's independent foreign policy will remain. Manalo says the Philippines will remain a friend to all and an enemy to none. For News 5, Marian Enriquez, we are One News.
The Budget Department is defending 588 billion pesos of unprogrammed funds that is tucked into the 2023 National Expenditure Program. But Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman insists there is no irregularity. Pangandaman explained that unprogrammed funds have been part of the NEP, or National Expenditure Program, for more than 4 decades, serving as a standby fund for the government. The DBM also stressed that a country frequented by natural disasters needs to have a standby budget for emergency disbursements.
Pandemic, or nung nagkaroon po ng increase nagkaroon po ng fuel hike, dito po natin kinuha po yung pondo para sa pagbibigay ng free bus carousel natin, additional funding po for our ayuda, and even po yung pagpapatayo natin ng mga clinics or yung mga services po sa health sector ng panahon po ng pandemic.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Interior Department says that the Cebu City government has agreed to put on hold the order allowing the optional use of face masks. The DILG is now appealing to other LGUs to keep the mandatory use of face masks until the IATF says otherwise. ABS-CBN and TV5's parent company MediaQuest have agreed to terminate their investment deal. The agreement covers ABS-CBN acquiring 35% equity interest in TV5 and Signal Cable purchasing a minority stake in Sky Cable. And in weather, Super Typhoon Henry is expected to enhance the southwest monsoon or habagat, which will bring rains over western Luzon. Meanwhile, the tropical depression Gardo has weakened into a low-pressure area and will likely be absorbed by the circulation of Super Typhoon Henry. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.